What's going on, everybody? It's Childish back out of the game, coming at you with another Summoner's War video. And in today's video, we're going to give you guys a highlight of the 2023 SWC Europe Cup. Now, we just got done watching the first four quarterfinal matches here and some crazy matches to say the least. But if out of the four matches, this one that I'm going to be showing you guys today was definitely the best one out there, one of the greatest comebacks that I've seen in quite some time. So again, guys, if you guys are excited about that match and you want to see more down the road, you all know what to do. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you guys all in the next one. Take care.
Bad. Livet versus Timbo, a best of 5. It's showtime.
Plain and simple. Live it and let die, or prepare to be Timbonated. Here we go. Live it versus Timbo in our match 3, set number 1. And we're getting straight into things. They're taking a little bit of time to figure out the exact pre-bans that they're wanting to go. Is it going to be, we do get a Sekhmet pre-ban from Timbo, and we get the cigar ban from Livet. Sekhmet may be kind of common to ban against Livet just because it's the only speedy unit he does use.
Exactly, so the whole calm pivots over like, okay, I have turned 2 units, but that one speedy unit in there makes it that you can't really draft like other stuff against me. And okay, Bolfric with O'Reilly, so definitely Timbo is saying right away, I am going to match your style of bruisering. Is that the right play, however, because you're going to fight a shark in the water in this point. That is exactly his home ground.
Exactly, but we do know that Timbo does have some heavy damage-dealing units in the form of a Julian, which you're partnering with some more of the sustain on the side with the Riley and the Bolvet. Dominic getting put in there from Livet. It was a unit you were calling out for. Icarus as well.
Icarus, definitely an interesting unit right there. Definitely something that is still a slight bit slower than I would say. Bolfrics are mostly around like those 280s, 290s. The units like Icarus are mostly a little bit slower than that. So Timbo's probably still looking at a first turn over here. But what kind of units do you want to pair with it? You have to follow up on that single target snipe. But interestingly enough, Livet is taking those units that might be used against him as single target snipers. That Icarus might be used against him. That Dominic might be used against him. He is stealing those units.
Wow, now we get the Fire Cassandra and into the Alia as well.
Yeah, Alia is actually something we haven't seen in Europe yet. We have seen it in one of the Asian regions. I think it was in Korea. Definitely not a unit that we have been picking up. But would he pick that up together with the Feng Yang? That's recently been made very strong with that defense just stacking so much damage reduction.
Wow, so here we go. Livet got an answer with this is a very unusual draft from the side of Livet. This is not a common thing that you would normally see. He has changed it up for you, sir. Because Miles is there, but the Molly.
The Molly's kind of going back to his normal style of drafting, but it's definitely something that we haven't really seen too much from the side of Livet. But on the other side, Timbo has also shown something that he's normally doesn't really show. There is some damage right there with the 2 units right now, but you definitely have to pair like a 3rd damage unit right now. Otherwise, it's very simple. You ban out one, and the other one is not going to do all too much. So what damage dealer? Is that going to be the Julian?
I have no idea right now, Six. He's taking a lot of time to exactly pick the unit that he wants right now. Let's see who he's going to lock in. Goes for the Feng Yan.
Exactly as called, that Feng Yang combination with Alia. The Alia had to make sense in that draft, and that Feng Yang is exactly what makes it sense. Currently, those bans have to be either on the Feng Yang, the Federica, or the Bolfric.
Let's see then. And from the other side of Livet, are you going to take out more damage, or do you want to get rid of one version of the sustain?
I would say taking out like either the Dominic or the Miles, or maybe even the Akasha, like that damage, I would definitely focus for, because the healing is going to be there, but it's not going to be that much of an issue because the armor break from Anavel wouldn't even do too much.
Yeah, so Anavel has been banned out. We know it's a very well-runed unit on the side of Livet, so you take out those runes that Livet has been working on. And there we've got in no leader skill on the side of Timber, but we've got some HP on the side of Livet as we get in to match 3, set number 1, Timbo versus Livet. Taking that first turn is going to be the Miles.
Yeah, it's going to be the Miles, and the very interesting fact here is Livet is taking first turn. Just simply that. Like, that's the only thing I have to point out. Like, besides that, we're done. But no, let's look at this match. Yeah, that's interesting. The Molly is healing so much, so the Bolfric is not going to be that much. So on the side of Livet, it's going to be the big Feng Yang show. If Feng Yang doesn't make it work, no one's going to make it work.
Here we go. So we're going to get stacks up now. This is where Bolverk needs the support of both of these totemists. The more stacks he can get up, meaning more half HP, he's going to be able to steal, get it in a range for that Feng Yang to do more damage.
Absolutely, but on the other side, the moment that the Feng Yang already moved, I want to see how much damage this Dominic combination with the Akasha is going to do. Is it going to be quite something to be feared if we get branding right now?
Let's see, he's going into the Feng Yang. Oh, it wasn't so much in the counter as well.
That was near. That was near to no damage. The counter did almost more damage. However, can you kill on this? This is going to be the big factor. We also have the Miles moving, and that's going to take out that Feng Yang. Very nice try. I absolutely love this Ikaisha pick, but that's the thing. The prediction of the pick of Feng Yang. That Ikaisha came in way earlier than that Feng Yang, but it's so hard countering that Feng Yang as well. And right now, Timbo can do a lot of stuff right now, but even in Siege, where you normally use Bolvric, this will be a tricky fight.
Yeah, I think this could play out to be a bit of a longer match, since obviously we're going to be getting a lot of stacks from the Totemist, but his damage has gone apart from that Bolvric stealing half HP whenever he takes a turn. And this...
And exactly, and the Molly pick was actually super smart as well, because the Molly is very good at healing that single target damage that doesn't make things skill, and that's exactly what that Bolvric is going to do. So we're definitely going to look at a match. There's probably no Destroy on the sides of Liver to speed things up a little bit, but this is definitely a match that is going very favorable for Liver.
Exactly, we're going to get some more additional turns there from the side of Molly, putting in that chip damage in the Bolvric. You see Liver just taking out that Bolvric, but he's going to be getting half HP every single time. This could be quite a long match in the end.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a long match. However, if the Dominic takes 1 or 2 extra turns on this one, yes sir, thank you. We're going to take out that Bolvric as well, and that will definitely take out the unit for Timbo, and that will also secure the victory for Liver. We're still going to have to take 2 more units off the field, but this is definitely not something you're going to win. And I definitely like to see what Lifford is doing over here. I asked him, are you going to shake things up? He's like, maybe. This is actually, it was more or less saying like, I can't.
Yeah.
Sir, you can.
Yeah.
You took the first turn, you sniped out a unit, you played insanely well in the draft over here, and definitely a well-deserved victory on the side of Lifford.
Exactly. Now it's just a time over tension. Obviously, the units are saying maybe Timbo's using this to think about exactly what he wants to do now. He's seen the damage that came out from the Dominic and the Ikaras, and now his Totemist didn't manage to survive that Feng Yen from all of the other damage around. Do you still go for it in the next one?
I would say that Timbo's playstyle that he showed in the prelims, where he had the Julian in there, where he had the Chandra in there, where he had like the Heigang in there, those kind of units definitely did work. But however, playing an Heigang into Liver doesn't really care about that too much.
Exactly, and now we're going to get more damage coming in from Miles. Icarus had the skill 3, I think, available next time, so hopefully at one point there's going to be enough damage coming through to take that unit out. But it's good time for thinking, how do we change this up for that next round?
Yeah, I think you have to change up pretty much everything you're drafting, because the whole playstyle, that's the thing what I mentioned at the start of the draft. He drafted in that Riley and the Bolvric, and I was like, oh, that is fighting a shark in the water. Like, you want to bring out the shark on land. That's where you can fight the shark. That's where you have the upper hand. But if you bring it to his home ground, that Bruiser setup, he's like, I know my way around this, around the waters, and take the victory that way.
Exactly, here we go. Dominic does have second skill, doesn't get the branding, but now it's going to be enough coming through the Icarus with that skill 3. Dark Recovery hitting 18k there, say. And Livet takes that first round, playing turn 1.
Playing turn 1, and that's absolutely what I like to see over here. The thing is, you fooled me once, can you fool me twice?
Exactly,
or
it's a best of 5, eh? Best of 5, things can change from set to set. You have enough opportunities to make something different happen. Who do you think Timbo's going to pre-ban this time?
The segment can be pre-banned. On the other hand, would you pre-ban that NFL? It is a pivotal unit, but in the end, in the whole draft that Lifford showed, he didn't need that NFL at all. The pre-ban or the post-ban on the NFL didn't do all too much. The damage came elsewhere.
We see a Same band and we see the Julian. So both units that we didn't actually see in that first match, but maybe already anticipating that things are going to get changed up. You have to be prepared for what could be coming next, so ban it out already. Timbo, first pick, are you going to steal an Annabelle or are you going to do your own thing?
Let's see what he does over here, but he definitely can go into a lot more buffs over here, because if that same is on the field, you can't really go too much into buffs, and we see the Cigar being picked up, which was also pre-banned in the previous match on the side from Liver towards Timbo.
Exactly, Cigar being used there, and Cigar actually not being played by Timbo during the whole of the prelims, apparently, or he didn't manage to get through to any of the matches from what I see. Annabelle obviously being picked, Sekhmet being picked, we know it's going to go standard back to Liver. Play what you know. Yeah,
absolutely, go for that muscle memory. He played like thousands of matches playing this, and it works out for him. He got that rank 3. He's been into the Legend Tournament with playing exactly this. Timbo, how are you going to answer this? Because you don't have the Julian, which is mostly the main damage comp. If you go for the Chandra, are you going back to the Chandra plus those reflect comps that you used before?
Here we go. He partners it with a Kinky now, so we know how unique that Chandra pick was from the prelims, right? But everybody knows about it now. They know why it was good. Did Liver do his homework? Did he figure out, okay, that could be a possibility coming into this match now? Knowing Liver is still probably going to play what he knows, what he thinks is going to work.
most likely definitely going to go for that. But the interesting thing about the Chandra comp is very nice because you have that finisher with the Julian normally. And the Julian is like, oh, that's the only damage, I'm going to ban that afterwards. In this case, Julian is already gone, but Lievert is definitely going for the units that he's comfortable with, picking up that Acroma and picking up that Riley.
Yeah, exactly. This is a very, I would say, common Lievert draft right now. What we're seeing is the classic units from Timbo. This is very similar to the things that we've seen in prelims, so both guys not really changing things up, or maybe changing things back in this set 2 from the set 1, where it was a little bit different there from Timbo trying with the 2 Totemists. He's now going to come in with the Winpure Vanilla Cookie. Is he going to partner it again with a Miles instead? He didn't want to deal with any damage from Lievert, potentially.
Yeah, the interesting way that this can't work last time, there was no sustain on the enemy side. In this case, we have 2 sustainers already. We have that Riley in there and we have that Anvil in there. However, drafting a Leo right here is going to make the ban difficult, because this is the mind game. Are we going to ban out the Leo and the Miles? Are we going to ban out one of the 2? Or are we going to ban out sustainers?
Exactly. And once you're on that stage, how well do you know? These guys know each other very well. They spend a lot of time together. They're very good friends. Are they going to double down?
I absolutely like this ban on the sustain, because there is a lot of sustain on the side of Lievert. There's a good amount of damage on the side of Timbo, but there's a lot of sustain on the side of Lievert, and this is exactly his turn 2 comp that he likes to play. In set 2, Lievert against Timbo.
Here we go, Sekhmet. Is she going to be able to land skill 3? Going on that cigar, gets the cool time.
Very important to get that cool time. And because of that, there's not going to be out much CC potential on the side of Lievert or on the side of Timbo. Does get that proc, but there's not too much damage. This NFL is so stacked on everything she can do. We have the provoke landing right now, but this is going to be enough.
Exactly. We do know that after the Chandra, the Kinky is going to move. Is it going to be... I think it might be a violent one then.
Might be a violent one, but on this side, we've seen 0 sustain on the side of Timbo. And
exactly.
The Riley is just going to do so much for healing. The NFL, when she has a chance, is going to do so much for healing. We have seen this Acroma doing an insane amount of damage. We have armor breaks as well, so I definitely like this well-rounded draft of Lievert in this position.
Exactly. Plus with Acroma, she has a silence on the skill 2 and the glancing as well. Silence is huge. It means that you can't use anything other than your first skill for a while.
Yeah, definitely very strong. Did not land any of the armor breaks. Actually, Sekhmet decided, I'm not going to land anything pretty much. We have the glancing on the side of the Chandra, definitely helps out to not get stunned all too much. But what the Acroma also has, as enemy max HP scaling on that skill too. There's a lot of HP on all of these units on the side of Timbo. That unit's gonna do a lot of damage, but we have that arm break on the side of Sekhmet. But we have that unit over here. We can actually decide if we want to cleanse or not, because we want those armor breaks, we want the damage in.
Exactly, managing that armor break over on the Miles right now, not looking so healthy because Chroma's going to be taking a turn soon, and how much damage can she do on that unit, say?
Yeah, that's
managing the cool time here though.
But besides just that armor break, the slow reduces the damage of the Miles. 12Ks into that procer. I think S1 is enough. Would you gamble it though? Doesn't gamble it, goes for a higher score. I like that not gamble. You're in the driver's seat over here as well. You're just taking your time. It's very hard to get rid of the moments. Not enough. It is not enough, and then we're gonna get our heals up. If not stunned, that is still potential as well.
Exactly, so Sekhmet has the first skill available. Can she put a type break? No. But Chandra is silent, skill 1 available. Gets a stun on an Annabelle, but they're still healing from elsewhere on the field.
Yeah, the double sustainers into 0 sustainers. I absolutely like that drafting style as a turn 2 player. It's just something that, as long as I survive long enough, you are going down 1 by 1, chip damage by chip damage. Even if the Sekhmet decided to leave the battlefield at this position, or even like 5-6 turns back, it doesn't really matter all too much. You still have to kill that Acroma. You still have to kill those 2 sustainers. It's very difficult to get rid of those.
Exactly. Chandra doing as much as he can in order to try and save that cigar, because obviously it's the unit which is getting the cool times, and it's not enough for the Sekhmet. That was so close.
That was very close, but as I mentioned, the Sekhmet, you don't even need it at this point. The other units will definitely clean up. The Kinky might do some little bit of fireworks over here, giving a little bit of a show run, but I don't really see it happening over here, especially not with that armor break and that glancing at this moment. Goes on the right target, 11K, no critter.
Wow, that is huge from the Acroma. You can just see how much damage that Lievert can manage to get on that unit right now. And there's still the defense break over on that Cigar, so Chroma's going to be taking a turn unless there's an additional turn from Cigar to... Nope, it's still going to be there.
It's still going to be there, so it's going to be Kinky against the world. Kinky against the world. Could you do it with a skill 1 into a skill 2? Oh, still doesn't manage to kill anyone. In this case, skill 1 does seal the deal, and we have that skill 2 going on with another glancing. Because of the glancing, Kinky has difficulties of dishing out all of his damage and getting that armor break in, which he definitely needs to confirm any kind of kills.
Exactly. We've got Anivel now. Going to use the skill 3. Do we get a defense break? We do, and it's kind of set up exactly for Anivel there. Getting the additional turn, just healing away. We know that Akroma's coming with that damage, and it's going to be 2-0 to Liver.
Yeah, this is definitely 2-0 to Liver, and once again, both playstyles Liver drafted very well. Liver has seen like playstyle that he normally doesn't do, playstyle that he does do. He can make them both work, and that is the 2-0 from Liver to Timbo.
Here we go then. Obviously from last year, actually, with Timbo, it was the opposite for him in the quarterfinals. He went 2-0 up and then ended up getting reverse sweep by Janzelot 3-2. Is this his setup and comeback right now? 2-0 up for Livert. Can Timbo bring it back to 3-2? This could be the decisive set, say. If Livert wins, he's through to that semi-final. It's going to be a tough semi-final anyway, but which one of them do you think can carry it on now?
I definitely like how Livert is drafting right now. I think Timbo is really trying to mix and match what Livert is doing rather than actually just straight up countering it. But we have that Anivel, that pivotal unit of the side of Livert being removed off the battlefield right now, but we also have the Cigar being removed from Timbo, which is once again also a very strong unit for Timbo.
Exactly, so who is Livert going to first pick now? Do we see again a Sekhmet, or do we see something a little bit more traditionally style, I would say, from Livert? Are we going for a Riley, or are we doing what for turn 2, sir?
Well, the thing is, last time he could just pick that Anivel, and that is his comfortable pick, and afterwards he could completely, the draft was open to pick whatever he wants. In this case, he kind of has to lock in something that might not really fit the draft, the same style that he did in the first round. So let's see how Timbo answers this time. I definitely don't think he would go back to the Riley-Bolfric combination.
Exactly, I don't think it's going to be seen. It didn't work out, and in these situations, it's a best of 5. If it doesn't work out, there's only 4 more matches to try and correct it. So you really need to make sure you've done your homework and you practice with these. But we see a Suiki instead, though.
We see a Suiki instead, still with that Riley. We also still haven't seen the Julian. The Julian is definitely something that would fit a combination of the Suiki. Livert can't really go all too well into, well, I would still say Miles and Dominic really fit very well into Suiki.
Here we go, we've got the Dominic called out. It's the unit that you wanted to see more in the second weekend of the prelims, I remember. Nobody was using it, but here we had great effect in that first match for Livert, or the first set, deciding to steal the Bolvik.
He just steals the Bolvik, and he's also going to do the reverse thing. He's like, oh, you are going slow. I will first turn you, and maybe snipe out your units with that right away. So Timbo's draft is really saying, like, okay, I'm going to play turn 2 right now, but does he have enough in the tank that you could say, like, can I survive your units?
Exactly. I mean, the Julian is still there, and I know Julian from Timbo is ruined very fast. So maybe it's something that he can try to also use for somewhat of a snipe. But like we're seeing it right now, Julian, and partnering with the Alexandra.
Definitely interesting because Timbo's not showing any kind of strips right now. So you could definitely go for a double immunity setup and maybe make it work around that way. If you have like a, I would say Shizuka plus a Wusa right now, the moment that Riley goes for attack buffs, you get attack buff on that Dominic. That's going to be very powerful as well. But is that the way to go? Because on the other side, Timbo does have a lot of damage. He doesn't really need armor break to start killing units.
Exactly. Livert going back with the Molly, which worked out very well in that first set for him. And the Icarus again, we know how much damage it managed to do last time, sniping out the Feng Yan.
Yeah, definitely sniping out the Feng Yang, but in this case, you definitely have a combination. Like, we have 3 units that do very high damage, most likely 50% or more. We have the Dom, we have the Bolvik, we have the Icarus. On the other side, you're probably going to lose 1 unit, and I would say you have to draft a very good 5th right now, that your Julian is not a must-ban.
Exactly, because Julian obviously can't die with any of those health that's coming through, as long as there's health on the other side of the field. Reviver!
Reviver, that's one way to deal with something getting sniped. That's absolutely an answer. I still would say that the Julian is most likely banned out. But that is definitely an interesting unit to see over here.
Is that the first time this year?
This year, yes. We have seen it in previous years, pretty much in similar situations as well. But I don't think you should go for this Reviver right now. You probably have to ban out one of those damage units.
Let's see. They're taking the time to figure out exactly what they're going to go for right now. It's all mind games when you're on that stage. Are you going to ban out what you think? Riley and Icarus ban, so Julian is going through. Sustain gone.
Sustain is gone, and attack buff is gone. So the damage output is somewhat less, but in this case you have to kill an Eladriel before you kill Julian. in set 3 of Livered against Timbo.
Here we go. Sekhmet going first. Can she land her third skill and insert a cool time? Who are you going for here? Are you going for the Eladriel or are you going to just do a Julian? No, it's not worth it in the end, right? Resisting!
Ooh, that resisted.
Wow.
That resisted was huge.
Oh, but resisted back.
Double resistance as well. However, big question is, we have the Squeaky moving next. This skill's probably not going to do anything. But we don't have too many stacks for Bolfric right now. When the Riley would have been on the field, there would have been a lot of stacks for that. That's currently not the case as well.
Wow, we're not doing too much damage at all right now. So we can see Bolverk only with 3 stacks, so he's not going to take as much health as he could if there was 5 stacks. Getting those stacks from the beneficial effects on the side of both of the people of the field. We've got Dominic coming in, second skill available. Can we get the branding and damage save? No.
Decides to go for... Okay, is your plan to kill out the Eladriel first? Because that is the tankiest unit on the battlefield. Most likely.
Exactly, it's going to take some time to get that down quickly, and
Yeah.
especially if you're not getting any of the stacks on a Bolverk. You can't do it very quickly either for half HP.
Yeah, like, okay, there's one more stack over there, but you're still not at 5. You could give shield from Molly to Wolfric, you get another stack. That is an option. But I'm not entirely sure if you would do that.
But are your units already dying too quickly from a Julian? If there's any additional turns from a Julian, we go from skill 1 into skill 2 very quickly. We can get stuns, we can do a lot of damage. And Squeaky is slowly but surely coming more into play.
But Squeaky also has a skill 1 armor break. If that skill 1 armor break lands for the Alexandra, that can also do a lot of damage in human form. Doesn't get it.
No, resisted again. High level of resistance over there, and that Sekhmet from Liver is a classic.
Yeah, it's definitely something that Livered ruined up that way, specifically for those drafts that it's hard to deal with. But on the other hand, we also have a lot of units that are hard to deal with. We're just not seeing any HP bar dropping at this moment.
Exactly, we're coming into Bolverk again, still only with 4 stacks now. So 4 stacks into there, can he get the health? Steals now, so he does have 5. But Sekhmet again, she has skill 3 available. Is she going to be able to cool time insert on that Eladriel?
Or would you drop one potential armor break plus glancing and a lot more?
Goes for it and gets it.
Gets it on quite a bunch of units, but what is not landing is heal blocks. And actually landed nothing on the Squeaky, which is probably the target that you would have liked to focus for. However, an armor break on a unit like Julian, you can tumble a lot of damage into Julian right now and pretty much drain all of the HP of all of the other units. Eladriel is a good healer, but it's a single target healer. It's not to go for AoE healing.
Exactly, Julian now though cleanses everything. Skill 2 is available, does get the stun and the additional turn now, so there's even more damage. But we know that Bolverk's coming soon to heal back up that Sekhmet.
Yeah, that's definitely coming, but we still have that Squeaky moving first and probably the Alexandra moving first as well. But we have that Molly heal. The Molly is also just doing high value healing all the time. Skill 1, armor breaks, does land the armor break, and we're going to go... We couldn't switch because of the glancing.
Yep, glancing was there, so it obviously meant there was going to be less damage. We're going to steal half HP. The shield's there, so it's not going to be as much, but still over 15k.
15k is definitely a good heal. We have armor break. We couldn't land it, but we kill it with this procer, and that is going to take out that Eladriel. However, we're going to take 1 for 1 on this one. Yes. Oh, that is so close. And the next one to move is that Molly. It's going to get healed up.
Oh my god, that was so close for the Sekhmet. Does she land? Resisted, but it doesn't really matter because Molly is just keeping her alive now. We need to do is get some stacks on Bolverk as well, no? Like, surely just anything.
Well,
but it's not.
Currently on Bolfric, you don't really matter if it gets too much stacks. You can, by the passive, every turn you take, you get up to 3 stacks by max. That is still enough stacks to just get the healing in that you're looking for right now.
And we don't have the skill available if there was a transformation then, because we had to use the shield on the last one on the side of Timbo.
In this case, I would definitely go from the heal. If you go from the heal from the Squeaky, you probably steal like 5-6k HP. Decides not to go for it.
Exactly, decided not, but now Sekhmet, she does have third skill available. Is she going to be trying to put somewhere that cool time?
Yeah, cool time could be actually on all 3 units is never really wrong, but also never really good. So I'm not entirely sure. Livered also doesn't really know where to place it at this moment.
Exactly, I don't think he knows exactly where he's going to put it as well. Well, we're coming back now. We can see the clock counting down for him in order to get this work done. But goes for the Julian, gets it, so now skill 2 is not available. There's no stuns coming out.
Yeah, no stuns coming out, so definitely interesting. Also, the combination between Julian and Alexandra is pretty interesting. Because the damage you put into Julian, Alexandra can't reflect, but still loses a lot of HP for.
Exactly, and obviously you just need to whittle down as much HP as possible because Julian's going to be on that field as long as the others have over the amount of health that's needed to keep him alive.
Yeah, absolutely. So focusing on that Alexandra right now, I would definitely start hitting into that Squeaky. The moment you hit that Squeaky, you take it out. You at least remove the armor break.
There we go. So Molly does have a turn, and we just see the healing that's coming through. Can we land a defense break here?
No defense break, but that is a lot of damage, and I definitely think a Julian skill 2 will take out that Dominic, just simply because it's too low HP. You don't really need that. You don't need anything else right now. And we have the Alexandra switch.
But the attack break as well, say, is that going to do him much?
It's going to do quite some, but I do think that Alexandra, I could be wrong on this one, it's mainly scaling from HP as well.
Oh, setting up now for the Julian to come in, kill. Can we get an additional turn from there? Oh, but a stun.
Not an additional turn, but we're getting that stun. How many stacks are we at? We're not at enough stacks. We do still use the skill, but it's just a little bit of healing. And I think at this point, we have 2 units on the enemy side that have Vampire built in. We have that Suiki skill 1 still Vampire, skill 2 is Vampire. We have that same on the Julian. They're chipping enough damage, and it's probably more damage than those just simple supports can do, because they're supports, they're CC kind of units. They are not doing over those 1 to 2k damage, which the other side units are simply healing all the time.
Exactly, they're healing the whole time, but he's trying to get rid of this segment. That segment is staying alive every time, apart from this one with the Ghost Wild Dance. What a name.
Yeah, that's taking out that unit, and as you can see, we see the healing, we see the HP just simply climbing up slightly bit by slightly bit on that Suiki, and this victory will definitely go towards Timbo.
You can see just how much damage is coming out now. Suiki obviously stacking it up, Julian there as well. If there's any defense breaks coming out, Julian's taking another one of these out.
Yeah, absolutely, and this whole match was revolved around that Eladio. That Eladio took too long to kill, and therefore you couldn't kill an actual threat.
Exactly. We now can transform. Deciding not to at the moment. Julian has skills available. Second. Wow.
Double 7.5k, no armor break, and that's what you get from 40-40 down. And we got that victory for Timbo.
You could see the relief on his face right there as well. He's still in this competition, and it's something that he's really wanting. He wants to prove himself. He wants to do better than he did last year. Last year, he didn't manage to make it through the first round of the Europe Cup in Berlin. This year in Paris, he's not in a very good position. He's 2-1 down, but can he make that comeback a reality? He learned from his other friend, Jans, a lot last year. Now he's going to maybe teach it to his new friend, Livert, for this one, right?
Let's see how that works out. Definitely banning out that Annabelle, that really pivotal point for Livert's draft that just makes him an open draft to go into any route that he likes to do. Was not available for him last round. It is available for him next round. Pre-ban was previously on that same A, haven't been used at all yet. Would it be go back to the same A, or would you go back to that maybe segment?
Exactly, he's going to have to figure it out right now. Obviously, maybe Livert looks at that Julian as well, seeing how much damage it did at the end. I can't see an Eladriel ban, so let's see exactly. We do get the Julian, and we do get the Icarus as well.
Icarus ban might be an SWC first.
Yeah?
I would say so. I'm not entirely sure, I could be wrong on that one, but it's a unit that's used by very specific players, but also not too much. Not too much to the extent why you pre-ban it. Pre-ban on the Dominic might have been stronger, but let's see what Timbo has cooking up for us with this draft.
Exactly, he's got to figure out now Julian is not there, and obviously that was a unit which was core in that last win to get it back up to 2-1. He has to figure out how he's going to decide to go against this. Does he go again with his Bolverk or the Riley situation? Is the Chandra going to be popped out around here again? Or steal the Dominic?
Stealing the Dominic, absolutely liking that. That pretty much makes it that Livert cannot go for that specific draft. However, Livert has played this specific comp many times, and that's open for the take right now. Timbo, are you going to go for full single target snipe with like a Bolverk, Miles, any of those kind of units?
Bolverk and Riley. Wow, he's definitely put some good runes on these units because he's wanting to use it a lot of the time. We see the simple of Annabelle and the Sekhmet, classic from Livert, thinking and taking his time now to figure out exactly what he wants to do to combat against this.
Yeah, he could definitely still go into his Acroma and comfortable picks right now. However, if Timbo locks in a strong single target hit on the 4th slot and 5th slot, it could be very bad to lock in an Acroma and a Kinky ready.
Going for Leona and Kinky, say?
Leona and Kinky, definitely something that might be very susceptible to 2 very strong single target hits right now. But the strongest single target hit that Timbo has is pre-banned. We could go into Miles, we could go into maybe more of those units. Feng Yang, definitely nice, but didn't do enough work last time.
Trying the same tactic. He banned out the Icarus, obviously knowing that maybe the Feng Yan was going to come through and there's not going to be enough damage coming through on it, right? We know that a Leona with the defense break sometimes lacks a little bit to be able to survive the whole way through. However, it's going to be on the field, the Feng Yan. Do you have to ban it out?
I would say the Feng Yan is definitely very dangerous, but on the other side, what are you going to pick as 5th pick? Arlos!
Whoa!
Okay, I am not entirely sure about that because Carlos can be taken out by Dominic. If you go Bolfric skill 3, Dominic skill 2, Carlos is done for. So I'm very interesting pick right here. But let's see if it's being left in the field in the first place.
Do you try and get a skill cool time though if you've got Sekhmet through as well to try and stop Dominic doing a skill 2? It's so many mind games right now, say.
I am not entirely sure. We have the Sekhmet ban, so that's not going to happen. Same for the Feng Yang ban, but I think this Dominic might do a lot of work.
So we're seeing it right now. Dominic, the HP lead takers are in crit rate lead from Carlos, the two brothers taking it through. The potential decisive set, Liv at 2, Timbo 1. Let's see who makes it through this set right now with Aaliyah taking the first turn.
Yeah, and we have 5 stacks of Bolfric right away, so that's actually very nice to have units faster that give buffs.
Here we go.
Here we go, skill 3 on that Carlos. 18k, that is a very tanky Carlos, but 18k is doable to hit. Can he do it? He can do it! And this is definitely not going to kill. That is a very tanky Carlos!
Wow, the fact that he's still alive right now obviously means that he's going to be able to take a turn, and the Riley cannot do enough damage into that, obviously.
Yeah, but then the big question is, can you kill this Dominic straight off the get-go? Like, can you strip it, armor break it, kill it with your Carlos? Can you land an armor break right now? Or do you go for some healing?
Oh, this is the risk right now. Do you heal? Play it safe, or do you know? He's gone for the defense break. No.
He tried it, but
Can
it didn't
Kinky?
work it.
No, Kinky didn't either.
Neither of them did it.
But is it going to be enough if he uses skill 2, say?
No, that's definitely not enough because it was very high on the tanky stats, and that's definitely not going to be enough. However, it is slowed, so that slow being there makes it that these other two units are not really going to kill. The NFL is actually moving next, before the Dominic.
But we're going to manage to heal it up with Volverk. He had the 4 stacks available. Can you cleanse it? But it's not going to do too much right now, say.
Yeah, the NFL is definitely moving next, so the Dominic might actually take out that Carlos as well, but then in a second turn.
Yeah, let's see then. So the second skill available. Good heal of 14k. We've got the first skill. Oh my, this is all between the battle of the brothers right now. Who can go first, Dominic or Carlos?
I think that Carlos will definitely leave the battlefield after like 2 more hits of those. We have the heal block locking in, and the healing is on cooltime for that NFL right now.
Nice. Nice to get there on the defense buff, and then to get the immunity over for your Dominic as well. Oh, here we go, Riley.
Yeah, Riley's just going to take it out, simple as one. See ya, man.
Wow, there you go. I mean, there's still quite a lot to play for right now. There's still 3 units on the other side, but you have to just focus on that Dominic and hope you can get rid of him, right?
Yeah, but getting rid of the Dominic with defense buff, that's the thing. Attack buff is 50% up for your attack. Defense buff is 70% up for your defense. He's not doing any damage with any of those units.
No, it's going to be a long haul, but we're here for the long haul stay, as Dominic's going to do some damage into that Annabelle. Wow. It's going to start stacking up eventually.
Yeah, especially because there's attack buff every time. And also we have enough on the Totemists together to stack up the Bolfric time and time again. You can also just simply start hitting that Leona. You will get stacks too.
Yeah, exactly. The more that the beneficial effects on that field, the more stacks that Bolverk is going to be able to get. And obviously, like you said, the amount of attack buff that is going to be around for Dominic to utilize every turn. And if you can't strip it...
Oh, that was definitely another opener. If you stripped it into that armor break that didn't work in the first turn, a Kinky might have done like a good amount of damage on it. But in this case, defense buff, you're not doing any damage at all.
Exactly, and here we are, skill 2 available. Are you going to go into the Annabelle? Don't land the branding, but there's so much health being taken away. And realistically, Bolverk's going to be able to take even more of it, and it's going to be dwindling for the Annabelle.
Yeah, and we're going to have the killer once again on the Riley. We have a simple totem as flying, and that will take out that unit. And in this case, we have seen Leona do a lot of 1v4s in the past. This is definitely not a match where she will do it.
No, I mean as well, you're going to be getting so much damage coming through from the Dominic, and Bolverk going to be able to take half HP. Even if there is a shield, there's going to be still so much health coming through there that in the end, oh my, that is so disgusting.
Yeah, with the attack buff, that's the thing. Bolfric was kind of falling out of meta because one of his... It was about a year ago nerfed, not doing as much scaling on the passive anymore, but still with that attack buff is doing a lot of damage.
Exactly, a lot of damage. And look at the amount of stacks that are just coming through to that Bolverk. There's so many on the field at one time. And if you can't get rid of this Dominic, he's just going to keep damaging away. What do you... This is, so far, I'm going to say 2-2. Can we say?
I think this is 2-2. And the interesting fact is, like, the most interesting unit that has the highest win potential between the two players right here is a Dominic.
Yeah, that's the one that they're stealing from each other. That's the one that they're looking to use. However, we do know in the next match, I think first pick will be going back to Livet, right?
But also looking at the amount of resistance that this Dominic is doing, it was resisting everything.
Oh my god. Bringing it back 2-2, Timbo versus Liver. Is Timbo going to do what Janslot did to him last year? Like, honestly, are we going to see that?
It might be happening right here because we had Liver being very comfortable first match, second match. He had the momentum, but it flipped. The momentum completely flipped, and Timbo is having that momentum right now of having comfortable picks.
Exactly, and he knows that he has the Julian available now in order for, because it was pre-banned in the last match, for a set, and obviously also with the Ikaras. But does that mean that any of the snipe units from Liver might come back to play because he's scared of what Timbo is bringing again with those Totemists, with the Bolverks? Do we ban out a Dominic if you can't have it?
You could ban out the Dominic, but definitely something that's interesting to see if Liver can once again force Timbo into a draft. Ooh, Alaya pre-ban. We have seen that once before. It's not the first. It was happening in Korea as well, and I was very confused about that one back there. But it's definitely fitting here as well, because there's just so much for that Bolfric going. But shouldn't you just ban out the Bolfric then?
I'm not sure here, and I mean, we're going to see Sekhmet, obviously, from the side of Liver. It's either Anavel or Sekhmet, depending who gets pre-banned, if he can pick it first. And we're going into Timbo now. This is the decisive set. Whoever wins this is going to the semi-finals. They're going to get one step closer to Bangkok in Thailand for the World Finals. So this is all to play for right now. These guys are very good friends. They're always on Discord together in a certain Discord chat called Bunker. It's part of where all the German players are. They talk about strategy and everything. And we're going to see a Dominic stolen again with the Riley.
Yeah, Dominic with the Riley. Definitely very strong unit, especially that Dominic into the Liver, because it's just single target damage and it's very hard to deal with. On the other side of Liver, what are you going to play around right now? Could you bring up a random Sonya and just snipe it out? It would be amazing.
Do you think Liver has a Sonya ruined up?
We'll
have to ask him.
I kind of doubt it, but he definitely goes back to his single target sniping units right there.
Exactly, taking the Bolverk, taking the Ikaras, knowing that if whatever you do in Timbo, there's always a back pocket snipe coming out. Do we see another game with a Julian and Eladriel? Maybe. Let's see.
Definitely an option right there to have that Eladriel in that final slot, but if you just ban it out, at least you can snipe one unit, maybe?
Exactly. I mean, Timbo showed the Julian but didn't lock it in. Taking a little bit more time, going for the Alexandra. Camilla.
So a lot more sustain. So definitely what Timbo noticed from the match where he lost, I need more than one sustainer, because if I leave in just one sustainer, it's gonna get banned out. I have no sustain, and I can't really fight back against the common sustain that Liver always brings in his matches. So Timbo's every time showing like, okay, first two slots, one sustainer, third and fourth slot, one sustainer, and then I have an open fifth slot. Definitely very nice drafting and adapting by Timbo.
Exactly. Liver bringing in now the Kinky, then something that he's used to. It's a familiar unit on him with a Pheromos as well. So we've seen one earlier today.
It was banned earlier,
yeah,
but it is good into the Alexandra until it gets stunned. Camilla has the stunner on the field already, so this draft kind of says like I kind of cannot work against that Camilla. But that fifth pick that Timbo can draft right now might be very strong into that as well.
Yeah, let's see what he's going to decide to go for. There is obviously the Julian available if he wants some more damage. Wow, what a tricky position. This is your... Oh, he has the Sonya rune though.
He has the Sonya runed up, and that Sonya will definitely do a lot of damage into that Ikaris and that Bolfric, but maybe even taking out the Pheromos.
Now, this is the mind games though. You saw Timbo look up to the sky then, thinking, what is Liver doing next to me? And Liver just touching his nose, hasn't touched the screen yet. He's waiting all the time in the world. Just double bluff and see who's going to get banned out here, say.
I would say the Sonya. You have to respect that unit.
Oh, respect coming in with a Sonya and a Sekhmet ban there, say.
Yeah, definitely very important right here. But now it's the game. We have two sides that actually try to snipe each other. Who's going to take first snipe?
Oh, here we are. This is a decisive one. Liver 2, Timbo 2. Going in first is Camilla. But Veremos is following up very close after.
You know what's very interesting to see? We see across the board Will, and we see Shield.
Yep.
One of those units is Will and Shield.
Yeah, true, exactly.
So,
oh, no, yes.
Yes, that's pretty interesting to see. Like normally it's always like violent or anything like that.
Yeah. Here we go. Can we get the damage on that Veremos?
It's not going to be enough. Even if you cycle right now, probably you do not want to cycle because you might be out of form the moment you switch. Shield is definitely very helpful though.
Exactly. I mean, it gives Bolverk 5 stacks, but if you're going to do it anyway, let's make use of all of the stacks that we can give him all in one shot. Because Icarus is coming.
Yeah, Icarus is coming, but can you take the Dominic right now? Dominic can be on very high HP, or do you go for anything else? I think you have to go for the Dom.
Let's see. He's taking his time, and Bolverk is going to be deciding which unit he's going to be taking out here. Oh, say, is it going to be enough in the end for this? Because there's going to be so much damage coming through as we're just waiting right now just to see exactly. There, Bolverk does get, but look at the shield!
The shield was immense. Huge shield over there, but still, we can have a skill 1, and also the Veromos is moving after.
Did we have damage on wind, though, against that Feng Yen from an Icarus last time?
It could very well be, because Livert is familiar with playing into wind, because Dominic is wind very strong. And it could be that Icarus specifically bowled to counter Dominic's.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. So we're just waiting right now. I think we're seeing exactly what's happening. Time bar is coming down. Icarus has that third skill available.
I think a 20k will do it.
Yeah.
And he's been hitting 20k before. So let's see if we can go for it.
You've called it. You've called it.
Little bits.
Not
20k!
enough.
It was exactly
Put
20k, but we have the Veromos. Veromos, are you
Is
in
it
damage?
enough?
Veromos,
No!
no, it's not enough! The dot would have done it, but the Camilla moves first, and the Camilla makes it survive.
Oh my god. That's huge right now. We know that you need to get rid of this Veromos or just keep that Dominic alive.
Well, the big issue about the Dominic right now, Dominic is mainly nerfed when it's low HP. It goes for those healing rather than the additional damage that he normally does. So if you can get enough time to get all of these things rolling around, because the Riley doesn't really want to use skills as well. The moment Riley uses skills, we have that Bolverk going in.
Exactly, and the more Bolverk can do. We need to do enough damage on this Dominic, but he's surviving by the skin of his teeth, sir.
Yeah, definitely. And you could go for skill 1, it dots. And then you could go for an Veromos dot. Is that going to be enough? Goes for the healing. However, there was heal block at that moment.
Yep. Oh, I'm still not getting through with that Camilla healing right there. He needs to get rid of this Veromos. Is he gonna? No additional turn.
But landing that heal block is once again very important, because this Bolverk otherwise could have healed like a big amount, and that's currently not possible.
Exactly, and we know that the Kinky following up after this Bolverk is a despair one. There's no AoE available right now, but can he get anything?
Veromos skill 2, stunners. Can we AoE stun? It's a 50% chance. If you don't stun, you push back.
Oh!
And that's definitely something that Livert was liking to see. But we have the proc. We have the proc on the Dominic, and that's going to take out that Veromos.
Wow, huge right there for Timbo. Managing to come out with the additional turn. Can he get a freeze? Resisted on the side of Icarus. And Riley cannot use her skills until Bolverk's gone off that field.
Yeah, Bolverk is definitely still the annoying factor where... Can this be enough? No, it's not. Skill 2 is not going to be enough. Skill 1, also not enough.
And we still have 2 cool times on that skill 3, which would then be enough, but can he start getting some damage in to that Icarus? He can transform. Oh, nope.
Decides not to go for the transform.
Oh, say this is
anxious. This is so close. If that Kinky wasn't violent and took
Cool
a strong fire. Cool time increase.
Yes.
Ow, that is definitely not something you wanted to see. Also, those healings on low stacks don't really do all too much. We cannot go for skill 1, skill 2 if it's on despair. And that is definitely something that Livert needed.
Oh!
But we are getting the despair stun and we're getting the armor break.
Yeah, but the core still resisted again. Are you going to be looking to transform this time, or still just putting the work into that Icarus? Seems like there's been enough. Oh, going for it. Can we get a freeze?
Can we get that freeze right now? We land the increase.
Resisted with a 10k.
Yep, but we have a lot of stacks on the side of Bolverk right now going in for some clean healing.
Exactly. Also, just to figure out as well, Timbo doesn't know exactly when that cool time is on the Icarus. He has to have seen that cool time.
Exactly. We can see it, but he can't. But still, this damage, if that was a violent Kinky, it would have done so much.
Here we go. Can Dominic do more damage into that Icarus? Gets the heal block. Do you have to go for it?
The heal block is definitely very nice, and we have that stunner as well, but because of that heal block, Icarus can't heal herself as well. And I think this is slowly taking very much the favor of Timbo, and as you called it at the start, when it was 2-0, he's gonna do the reverse sweep.
Wow. Potential reverse sweep still is on. He's learned from last year, and he's gonna potentially have done one better, which is exactly what he wanted to do. He wanted to come here and say, right, I'm better than last year, and I'm gonna prove it to you all. Because he is feeling it right now, the relief.
Yeah.
Wow, crazy from Timbo.
That was so close. Like the Dominic, if you had like 1 or 2 grinds less from R5, the unit wouldn't have survived on 6 different occasions.
Exactly, and I want to call it out for Sean B if he's watching him. Daddy Timbo makes it through to that next round for you. He has been incredible right now, managing to pull this back around against Livert. Turn 2? What is turn 2? These two are turn 2.
Both of them are turn 2, absolutely. But I definitely did like how Livert started off his matches with like playing around, first turning, getting like just very comfortable matches in, dragging someone out of his comfort zone. And you see, the sportsmanship from Liver towards his friend as well. As we have the victory from Timbo going on to the next round.
Wow. The reverse sweep happened. 3-2 to Timbo, who goes through to the semi-finals. What an incredible comeback from Timbo there, proving exactly why he's in this competition, able to come back and remain in to challenge our next match 4 winner later on. Incredible. Sam, I mean, look at the elation and